climate change organizations have
emissions of greenhouse gases.
Climate change is now happening.
Indonesia says it's
10 million tons of.
The Philippines tops a list of countries most susceptible to hazards caused by climate change.
Ito ang dahil pagkakaroon ng mga bagyong gaya ng Super Typhoon Yolanda at Bagyong Ondoy.
We are in a climate change world. We are confronted with a change in our environment, which is unprecedented in human history. Due to harmful human activities, including the carbon emissions from our cars, our industries, and our power plants are heating up the atmosphere. We are experiencing the warming of land, air, and oceans. The effects of this are numerous. There's an increase in the risk of more extreme and intense weather events, such as tropical storms, droughts, and flooding. Consequences include a rise in sea level, reduced food production, a reduction in plant and animal life, and harm to ocean ecosystems. Extreme weather events are becoming more frequent, putting lives at risk. The United Nations Human Rights Council has consistently recognized that environmental violations constitute a serious threat to human rights. Council justifies its point on the matter of only the human rights that are dependent on a healthy environment for their realization, such as the right to life, the right to participate in cultural life, and the rights to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of individuals, including food, water, housing, and medical care. The International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights mentions the state's obligations to preserve the right to life can require positive measures, which clearly implicate environmental protection. At the same time, the Vienna Declaration on Human Rights acknowledges that the right to development should be fulfilled so as to meet equitably the developmental and environmental needs of present and future generations. States have dual obligations concerning environmental preservation. First, from a human rights perspective, they must ensure that their actions do not harm the environment in ways that compromise individuals' rights. Second, states have an affirmative obligation to take effective measures to prevent and redress these climate impacts, and therefore to mitigate climate change, and to ensure that all human beings have the necessary capacity to adapt to the climate crisis.
a historic agreement.
According to the Paris Agreement, states have collective responsibilities to address global environmental challenges, particularly climate change. The Paris Agreement requires countries to set and pursue ambitious climate action plans, known as Nationally Determined Contributions, NDCs, to limit global warming and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. This international framework underscores the necessity for states to cooperate in mitigating environmental impacts and advancing global sustainability goals, highlighting that environmental protection is a shared duty critical to the well-being of the entire planet. The United Nations Guiding Principles on Business and Human Rights affirm that states also have an obligation to protect people from harm by businesses, while businesses have a responsibility to respect environmental values. Businesses must be accountable for their climate impacts and participate responsibly in climate change mitigation and adaptation efforts. Consequently, the climate change as a multispectral topic, which has a strong inseparable connection with human rights, needs to be discussed not only as a social but also as a legal issue. From this point of view, states, international organizations, civil society, academia, and every individual should attract the attention of the legal community to the problem of climate change and should increase awareness of the existing international and national legacy regulatory instruments in this field. At the same time, considering the ongoing changes in the sphere of law and climate, the legal community should regularly make discussions both on national and international level to keep up with the changing world and find effective legal responses in law and practice.
Climate change is a challenge for every country. We took a proactive step. We now work actively with our partners. We established a troika with UAE and Brazil, the future host of COP30. we, as a former chair of non-aligned movement with 120 countries, trying to build the bridges between this institution and European Union, with 10 member states of EU, Azerbaijan signed declarations on strategic partnership. We actively are working now with the small island developing states. We are planning to establish a special fund to support them, because for us here in Azerbaijan, climate change is a problem. For them, it is existential threat. So we try to demonstrate maximum responsibility and at the same time to build bridges between different parts of international community. And I think one of the most important results, if we achieve at COP, apart from financing, will be to put down mutual accusations and stop blaming each other for what is happening. We need to join our efforts, put down all these claims and concentrate on an agenda which will help us to live on this planet, not only for us, but also for our children and grandchildren.